So tonight we're going to talk about the new video idea, how to create it, automation and short creation, restreaming camera, restreaming and using the camera, and the 30-second intro should be intro, and the importance of it. That's the agenda for today. So let's get to the first item that we have on the agenda, and we're going to get through it and see how far we get on that. One of the challenges that I have with streaming is that I really don't have a way to tell what the audio is unless I actually test it by looking at another device. So I'm going to test the audio right now. Yeah, so the audio is going on. I think we missed some of the first couple of minutes, and which is fine. And the way that I started was basically with this anime to show you a way to kind of improve a little bit on the intro, but I had to test, I had to look at the video from the beginning to figure out if we were able to effectively use the animate. Okay, back to the agenda. Let's talk about new video idea. So what we do for the most part is start of each day, I try to figure out, okay, what will be my next video? You know, how do we figure out what to talk about? And like I stated earlier, I signed up to VidIQ just because, you know, I don't have to kind of make everything up every single time. And the way we start basically is we start with the title. So I asked him for some ideas, and I just, for example, veterans find love after Vietnam. That was the topic that I chose. The reason for that is when I looked at the outlier, it had like a 100x outlier, which seems to be fairly good. And then from that, I got 3 potential titles. Reunited with Love, with Lost Love 50 years later. You won't believe what happened. Seems like an interesting one. And then the other ones in there. Now you could edit each one of these by clicking here, or you could save it, you know. And I just saved it, and then I say, so that gave me the first idea of the title. Doesn't mean that it's gonna survive. It just basically means that it is the title that I've chosen to basically go forward. Then press continue. So thumbnail, usually you start with one. I created 2 more. I like to have 3s, you know, that way when I get to the end, I basically have a way to select the best one that is available, and based on the outline that I'm going to get and the title that I'm going to get, and so I create 3 of them by choosing generate more. You could say generate more, that'll give you a 4th, or it only gives you 3 apparently. So then we press continue. And what it's doing right now is creating an outline for you. It's giving you a hook, an introduction, a challenge, you know, developing that, the climax moment, and somewhere in conclusion, the CTA. So we could take that. Let me see. Let me see if I could have an empty shell here. Yeah, I do have one. I don't know if I could just take that now. Yeah, I could copy this. It probably gives me an opportunity to create something, but I'm sort of skeptical about when I do things, and I like to be able to copy and paste into a blank page so that I'm able to, if I get lost or something, I'll be able to save my work. I'm a great believer on that. So this is it's apparently 15 seconds. I don't know what the total would be on that. You have to do the math. Probably about a minute and a half so far, or something like that. So you continue, and what it does is it gives you like a blueprint, which is a more developed portion of your of the video you may want to create. So I could just, I'm gonna copy this one instead. It was the same thing. Okay, save the blueprint and see what happened. So you could go here now, you could edit each piece of it. And if you want to, or you could say a preview, yeah, you could do a video, so preview. So you do a preview. Okay, so that's basically the what you do with that. And then what you could do is you could use some of the tools. I have a template that I use when I'm creating stuff. This is what I call an emotional template that I use. What you could do with that basically is use that information within your template. And so I take all this, I take out the information that is not applicable, like all this minute and stuff. It's not applicable to what we're doing. So and there will be some more stuff that we take out. But this is grunt work, basically, what you see me doing right here. But this is the stuff that actually makes sense for you to create your video. You got to have some sort of a template as to what you're doing. Otherwise, you will get lost and never get anything done. Well, this is at a minimum. What it's doing is giving you a rough draft of an idea that you could develop further. Into a story. And you could take all this, cut, then you put it into your model. And I'll explain that in the model in a second. So punctuation are kind of important when you're doing what you're doing, and otherwise sometimes you get what's called false positive. Let's see if this will improve it at all. Give me 2 shake. Today is when you're doing this thing right now, guys, in order to get the best of a full studio, which I do not have. So hopefully this is a little better audio. I'm total testing. Usually when I speak through the mic, it's a little better, but then when I have to show a video, I have to take it off. That creates some concern. So this is what I call the emotional model, which I kind of self-created and I update periodically. We'll start with the emotional arc, which is create a foundational a character. Talks about the hook and how, and the context, how to set it up. The incident, the crisis of the conflict, the epiphany, the climax, and the resolution. So it's sort of like a model that if you go through that, basically, you should be able to do that. Now, the other thing the second part is still an instruction, what I want to create. So I'm going to create, instead of a 28-second, I'm going to create maybe a 7-minute video. This works really well when it deals with shorts and stuff like that. So today you may have, and depend which program I use as well to do that. The generation takes a little bit of time. So let's see how far we're able to get with it tonight. And if not, then I have to show you the result tomorrow. So I take all this information here, which is a script. My niche, as you could say, is military veteran niche. So I had to kind of skew everything towards that. And I will talk about that. They call it niche bending, that you could use for whatever niche you are working on. So 90% of what I'm showing you can be taken and used in your niche. Then I use Studio AI, Google Studio AI, just because it allows me to generate without having to pay for anything to do this. It's kind of free. And as you could tell, this gives me a script which I had to review. I'm going to copy into. I could copy it into this as the output. And that gave me a basis for starting my video, right? So I will have to do some cleanup. Like if you remember what I said, I had to get rid of things like the timeline and some of the symbols and stuff like that. And I had to read it to be sure that it makes sense and that it matches the information that I collected here. Let me see here. Go back to this. What I'd like to be able to do is download the save as. Save. Because if I could save the thumbnail, I don't have to redo it tomorrow. I'll see for a minute if you saved it. I don't see it. That's something where I'm still have some challenges in there. But what we could do is this, and then from this we could create the thumbnail tomorrow. We could just copy that. Copy this, or save it, go down to do a save as. That's good enough for now. We could save that for later. What I could basically do is see if I could just, this may not be a perfect video for by any means, but at a minimum, what it would do is it will give you an idea of what we do. If you want to just do a test, I'm gonna see if I could have any hours or any time available on in my video generation area. This by no means is it's really a fast way, and I'm just only doing it for demonstration. I would spend a lot of more time working on the video. I'm working on the information. So, but I want to give you a quick demo as to the output on how it will look like. So let me do a quick read on that. Usually, sometimes I use the tool within my program that you allow me to read out loud.
"50-year journey home, estimated voiceover duration, 7 minutes, tone, emotional, poetic, respectful, and triumphant. The hook and context. Visual, slow zoom on a weathered, grainy black and white photo of a young soldier and a Vietnamese woman. The edges are frayed. Fade to a shot of an elderly man, Silas, staring out a rain-streaked window in a quiet living room. VO, they say that time is a thief. It steals our youth, our strength, and eventually, our memories. But for Silas Thorne, a 72-year-old Vietnam veteran living in the quiet hills of Ohio, time wasn't a thief. It was a prison guard. For 50 years, Silas lived a good life. He had a career, a house with a porch, and a routine that kept the ghosts at bay. But behind the stoic exterior of a man who survived the jungles of Southeast Asia was a hollow space, a silence that no amount of...
Okay, so that's uh, basically the narration, and I would read the entire as I go through there, making changes as I see fit. And a lot of time, if I want to eliminate a special character, what I would do is a simple control copy, control find, and I would just get rid of it, any special character, and or change it to read something different like that. So let me see, replace, and that's it for now. So you could replace a special character doing that, and you could go along and if you make things that you don't like, if you see things you don't like, you just basically just get them out of the way. So basically, after you clean up the script really good, what you would do is you do a copy and paste right into the tool. And I'm going to see which tool will give me the best result today. This part of it might take a little bit of time, so be prepared to get a cup of coffee or do what you need to do, assuming that it actually even load. I got too many programs open, so sometimes that happens to me. It doesn't really load that well. So let me see, Control Shift R. Sometimes using Control Shift R allows me to, I don't have to reload, turn off the computer tonight because some of the connections are not working too well. Confirm. So let's see, this is doing this one. It's trying to connect here. I don't need that right now. We'll see if the CapCut gets me. I like CapCut. It's really good when it comes to doing that. I want to do a regular video, so not a short one. I want the start to be realistic. Hello, my pool. Did not do that. Okay, I'm gonna pick Ryle for that. And go back here. The only thing with CapCut, the problem that I have right now, it may not load everything. If you guys have some experience with me on this, is basically it's a low end. It just kind of you communicate the story, but a lot of time it doesn't give you any video. This is basically photo and and, and voiceover. I could create video later on, but that takes more time. So see here, we got the narrator, the character seems to have full character, young and old. Seems to be the same individual, but a different age group. And as you can see here, I can only select images, still images, but it's good enough for what I'm trying to accomplish. Here tells you the duration, 348 seconds. Tells you the aspect ratio. You could change that here if you like, but I don't want to change it. And you could go to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. You could format basically what you want in relation to that. So when you get here, you could just one more chance to take a look at the script that you want. For what we're doing, it's pretty good. Remember, this is a fast way of just showing you, demonstrating for you the process, how to create, how to come up with a new idea, how to take it through, and how to. What this would do, by the way, let's say you end up getting the whole entire script, getting the entire video, and you don't like the output. But what it would do is gives you an idea. Okay, this is where I need to change it. I need to improve it here, and you go back and you rework your script. You reworked your. Let me go back. Come back in a second to that. You go back here and you rework your title, your thumbnail, your outline, and you preview. You preview it until you keep at it until you actually get something that you like. That's the only way. That's the only way that I know how to do it. So basically, now while that's being worked on the other end, I wonder which one of these three thumbnail is best. I always kind of like the first one here. And so what we could do is, for example, let's see if I could use this one here and ask video to create a thumbnail. Let me see, I'm going to do this a little different the way that I would normally do it. So I take this one here. And I just don't know how to get to from here to actually have it printed for me. That's because I haven't used it that much. Like I told you before, I have a little different tools that I really barely learning how to use. So let's go with that. Tonight's thumbnail. We could use that. And let me see if I got. That's the second part of what we're doing. So let's see. Go back here in video. Optimize video. Learn. Chat with a coach or create a next video. Optimize. Okay. Let's see if it takes me to the home plate. Didn't do that. It took me to my YouTube home plate. I've been having an issue with in video tonight with the IQ. So let me try it a different way. This way hasn't been working for me. But if it works, I should be able to generate the thumbnail. If not, here we go. If not, I get something else. So tools, I'm gonna call generate, I don't know, attach an image. I think that's the one that I selected. Create a thumbnail. And I like to use plain English when I'm doing something because in reality, I just don't know any other way. I'm not a an expert programming, so I do the best I can with what I have. So the scarf in the attic, a 50-year journey home. So let's see what happened. Or this program, every time you use them, it wants you to upgrade for something else. I'm barely using the minimum number of things that I can without having to spend a lot of money. But I decided to spend a few dollars in things that I know are kind of important. And VidIQ saves you a lot of time because you're able to generate good quality thumbnail, good quality script, and it gives you plenty of ideas. So it kind of saves you so much time that I figure if I spend a few bucks on it, it's not going to be a big deal. Like I say, I don't subscribe to them. I don't get any funds from them. Listen, when I'm in my money making operation, maybe I will, but not right now. Right now, all I care about is just creating video and getting some quality stuff. So this is the thumbnail. You could change it if you don't like. Let me see. How about a different font? Yeah, let's say, what about my channel banner? Can you try another version? So let's try another version because this one kind of it's good, but is it good enough is the question, right? So the point is that you got a way to do more than one item, right? It's not one and done. You could create two. Usually I like to create three of everything. That way I'm able to use the best one that I generated for that night rather than basically just getting one item and it may or may not work. As you probably learned from me, I changed title, I changed thumbnail, I changed description more than once when I'm posting online. Anything to do to get a few more clicks on the video that you generate. So while that's going on, Okay, this is another version. I kind of like that one a little better, but let me go find out where we're staying right here. So like before, it has some issue generating some of the clips. Hopefully not too many. I'll come back to it again. So let's take a look at the two that we generated. I mean, I'm going to call this A thumbnail, and this is going to be B thumbnail. So this one is a little better for me. 50-year journey home. So I'm gonna probably select this one when the time comes. But for now, the biggest time-consuming portion is gonna be the generation of the video. And what I'm gonna do this time, instead of just waiting for it to generate all the time, we're going to give it one more chance to generate, and then if not, we're going to duplicate it and try to do it that way, because last time it worked a little faster for us. It says it's 40% of the voiceovers is complete. And let me see how many images I have. It doesn't tell me yet. Well, let's go back to this. So let's go back to the agenda that we set for tonight and see how much of it we accomplish. So, so the agenda tonight was about generating new video idea, and I kind of showed you how we started from the title to, and then move forward from there. And we did, what did we do? Let me go back to what we did. I don't want to shortchange you on that. So we started with the title, then we created the thumbnail, which I just reprinted it. We did an outline, and then we previewed the outline, and then we took that section, and from there we created an emotional, we put it into our emotional model to be able to create the idea, and that gave us the output, which was basically the story that we wanted to tell. And after some quick review, we basically went through and made a few changes. Remember, I'm doing a demonstration, so therefore, don't feel like you need to spend more time with your script if you want it to be a great script. We got the script, then we use, what do we use? We used AI Studio, Google, and here's the prompt if you want to copy it. It's really available there. It's a free program. So I'll leave it here for a little bit of time so you guys can go ahead and copy if you need to. We click on it, and that took us to here. And then we submitted the prompt, the complete prompt into it. And it gave us a story that we could use with some minor modification or some major modification, depending on what you want to do. And use that. And tonight, we tried to do, to find out which of the two programs that I have for creating video works best. It seems like this one gives me something. So let me see what it says. I don't like to use music with them, so I gotta get rid of the music because I got some concern with the music. Hold on. So I'm gonna, if not, I have to make some changes.
Thief. It steals our youth, our strength, and our memories. But for Silas Thorne, a 72-year-old Vietnam veteran from Ohio, time wasn't a thief. It was a prison guard. For 50 years, Silas lived a good life. He had a career, a house with a porch, and a routine that kept the ghosts at bay. But But behind the stoic exterior of a man who survived the jungles of Southeast Asia was a hollow space, a silence that no amount of noise could fill. Most veterans come home and leave the war behind. But Silas left something else in Da Nang in 1972. He left a promise. He left a girl named Len. Today, we are going to ask a question most people are too afraid to answer. Can a heart truly stay faithful for half a century? And what happens when a man who has given up on hope finally decides to go looking for it? It happened on a Tuesday during a simple act of spring cleaning. Silas was moving boxers in the attic when he knocked over an old footlocker, one he hadn't opened since he was discharged. Inside, buried under his olive drab fatigues, was a small silk scarf. It was the color of a summer sunset.
Okay, I'm not going to play the entire video for you. Download it and I'll show you what my next steps are. So it doesn't really matter the name right now. I had to go through the editing process, which I normally do. And I'm going to do a quick edit on this one. Assuming it's download, that's another problem that we have sometimes. It doesn't download. So I'm prepping DaVinci Resolve, because the next stage of that, we are going to use it to do some quick edit and review the video. And remember, I'm doing this really quick so you have an idea as to what's going on. So let me go back to this, Did I get the title here? No, I get it here. Where is my video? Oh, there you go. Should be this one, right, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So I don't lose track of my title. When you're using all this program, it's really easy to get sidetracked. So this one doesn't want to copy it there. I don't need to have a full title here, so I'm going to put in 50 years. So create it. That brings me into VidIQ. That's going to make an assumption that the program downloaded. What is other video? Did it do that? Okay, hasn't done. Still saving it. There you go. You have to be careful because you kind of move along to trying to determine, okay, what's the next step, right? But if you don't pay attention to what you're working on, you can easily. So here's the video. So now what you want to do basically is create a folder that has everything on it, if at all possible, because that's going to help you with the generation of the editing process. Let me see if they at least took this. Okay, here you go. So you dump your video there. You want to use B as a thumbnail. And let me see what kind of, cut that out of here. I'm going to try to see what kind of music I want to put in this real quick. I have to put it in a special place. That way my video doesn't get all clogged up. And I'm able to reuse and make an update real quickly as I go. So I'm going to just pick a music that I've used recently. And that way I don't have to, this is doing this. Sorry about this. Oh boy. I think this is one. Oh. I could usually have another program that generates the music, but I'm not going to create a new music thing for that. Hopefully I could find one that has music, but apparently I haven't been using music. There you go. Okay, we're going to adapt that. There's different cuts of that. So I'm going to copy this one. And I'm going to dump it on my folder. Right here, paste. Now I'll go back to CapCut. And I have to be sure that I'm in the first folder over here. So I could dump, usually you call it A roll and B roll. Usually I don't have that many clips right now. So what I do is just put in the 3 clips that I'm going to use. Until it's only 2. I'm going to use out of that, and I will bring it into CapCut. Okay, here. And then I go to the edit mode. Bring it down. I have a different, no, I don't want to do that. I have a different video that I did, sort of taking you through the different items. I said the thing has music. I may have to, I can let it play for a little bit. I'll be back.
spent thousands on private investigators who took his money and gave him nothing but blurry photos of women who were UNTer. He began to spiral. He stopped eating. The stakes weren't just about a lost love anymore. It was about his own survival. He felt that if he couldn't find Lynn, his entire life would have been a lie. He was a soldier who had left a comrade behind. The breakthrough didn't come from a high-priced investigation.
Sorry, guys. I think some of the clips in there didn't have audio because I've did not unplug my phone, but it gives you a chance to look at a couple of things. The pictures and some other stuff. So you're able to look at that. I'm going to take a look at the end real quick and see how it plays out.
But they got something better. A sunset. They spent the next year traveling between Ohio and Vietnam, proving that while the body may age, a promise kept is a form of immortality. Aging veterans who deserve to never be forgotten. And before you go, I want to ask you a question. If you could go back in time and send a one-sentence message to someone you have unspoken to in years.
And I'm going to leave it there so you get more suspense. So I know that what you're getting is portion of the video. And that's okay because that's exactly what I wanted you to do. One of the things that this video has, it has music, and from CapCut, I don't like to bring in music because I just don't. I had some bad experience with them, so I had to go back here. And at a minimum, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a chance to see. This one doesn't say, it doesn't have any music. It's kind of strange. Huh. It's supposed to not have any music, but it does. Well, we're going to have to go for it. A couple of things in here that you may want. Usually I look for these things like there, like where there's no large spaces. Like for example, the music is good, so I'm going to leave it the way it is. And basically, but most of the time I cut all that off because usually when I bring my own music, I don't want to have any dead spaces. And there might be a way to take the music out, but I really don't know how. So let me double check here. I hate doing this. Okay, sounds good. Some case. There you go. So those of you that wanted to figure out how to change the timeline, if you wanted to make this one into a short video, you could just go press timeline setting and unclick this and click vertical resolution. I don't want to do that this time. So basically I'm going to leave it as is. So I'm going to press cancel. And I'm going to do a few cuts real quick so that I'm able to do some some transition. I don't want to do too many because otherwise I'll be here quite a bit. So but I'm going to do some effects right now, just real quick. So you guys, that's one of the importance of bringing that into CapCut. You could do effects on it. And basically, that's very helpful. For example, if you want to just do apply flash to something, assuming that it works, that one doesn't want to work. So you go to the next one, zoom in and out. None of my video transition are working today. Zoom in. Interesting. Interesting. Toolbox, audio, titles. I want to do titles. Audio transition, don't want to do that. Effects, don't want to do that either. Well, we try to, if it doesn't work, then we just move on to something else. So, none of them are working today. Zero work for the transition today. Well, it does happen sometimes. So these are the ones that apply. Fusion, camera, circle. Hey, G, I'm going to try one more. If it doesn't work, I will try something else, and then I will just move forward. It's a demonstration tonight, so it's not like it's a big deal. I could go tomorrow and do more fixes on it. So none of that worked. So let's try to go to title and do a search on title. So don't see it working either tonight. Base, okay. Let's see at a minimum if this works. I'll be using emoji today. So that's working. But I think the emoji that applies to this is basically what's going on. So as you can see, you could do that. And I think the next one, you could do a copy of that, get different icons for here. I just, demonstrate this, and then I'm going to try to do a printing and see how it looks. Here, I'm going to use different ones for you guys to see. Control, fine. Oops. Yikes. Function. I think I'm going too fast. So click there. So these are going to be different. I'm not an expert using emojis, so but at least they're there, and try the transition one more time. Radio transition. Well, they decided not to work tonight. Don't matter. So I'm gonna do a quick printing of it, so you get an opportunity. So you could see even doing it in a quick manner, right? It takes forever to go from an idea to something that you could look at and say, this makes a lot of sense for me to do. I'm gonna call this one test one because in reality, I'm not gonna post it right now. So it's show you how it's going. I'm gonna call it test one. Test one, and I'll go here. I'm gonna print it on YouTube. So it's good. It's gonna create the. I'm gonna run that into a queue. From the queue, we're gonna run the video. It's going to take a few seconds to actually print through. So once again, just giving you an idea as to how to go from beginning to end in a short period of time. But each of these steps takes time. The idea generation, the creation of the thumbnail, the creation of the story, the prompting, the video creation. Now, the program that you select, this one is mostly still photos, but in reality, I have the program that actually they do videos. So I may print it on both and then make a comparison as to which one I want to use. The whole issue, though, is that it costs money. Even to do a draft video, it costs money. So even though I'm using mostly, so you see this is a test here from what we generated. So let's go take a look how we come out.
Time is a thief. It steals our youth, our strength, and our memories. But for Silas Thorne, a 72-year-old Vietnam veteran from Ohio, time wasn't a thief. It was a prison guard. For 50 years, Silas lived a good life. He had a career, a house with a porch, and a routine that kept the ghosts at bay. But behind the stoic exterior of a man who survived the jungles of Southeast Asia was a hollow space, a silence that no amount of noise could fill. Most veterans come home and leave the war behind. But Silas left something else in Da Nang in 1972. He left a promise. He left a girl named Len. Today, we are going to ask.
So as you can see, it is still photo, but the quality is very, very good. And that's something that you may want to kind of think about it for the creation of your original setup, your original idea, to see how it goes, and then could use that to develop into a more expensive program, or still within CapCut, be able to generate some video, because you are able to do that. For this one, I'm not doing that because it takes time and it takes money. So let's continue on
A
real
question
quick.
most people are too afraid to answer. It was the color of a summer sunset, smelling faintly of jasmine and age. As his fingers touched the fabric, the walls of his quiet Ohio home dissolved. Suddenly, it wasn't 2024, it was 1971. He could hear the rhythmic thwack-thwack of Huey helicopters. He could feel the stifling humidity, and he could see Lynn. She had given him that scarf the day before his unit moved out. He wasn't just finding a scarf. He was finding his mission. But how does a 70-year-old man find a woman in a country that has reinvented itself 3 times over? Silas didn't know where to start. He had a first name, a faded photo, and the name of a village that didn't exist on modern maps. The conflict wasn't just the distance. It was the doubt. His friends told him he was chasing a shadow.
Once again, I'm not showing you the entire video because in reality, the video will be posted after we finish doing some more editing and things of that nature. So I just showing you clips of it. Hopefully entice you to continue with this process, to listen to this program, and hopefully we're sharing some of the idea of what we do. Maybe you'll find it helpful. Maybe you say, oh, you guys are behind us and whatever. So we are a small channel and we're proud of it. We just don't know everything. We're proud of that as well. But what we are demonstrating that if you have grit and determination, you can continue to participate in YouTube. Hopefully that's something that somebody likes as far as what's going on. So I'm going to check my agenda real quick to see where we stand for tonight. See if we accomplish the task that we set out to do. So we did talk about how to create a new video from beginning to end. We haven't talked about automation, how to automate the video. That's only a few minute conversation because I showed the first part last night. So basically, after you create this long video, in a day or two, you can come back and chop it into pieces to create shorts, and I'll show you how to do that. In relation to the Restreaming camera, if you look on the bottom left of the of your display, right, you should be able to see my face, which before I was not able to show you because I didn't know how to do it. I just learned how to do it last night. So, but I could, how do I do that? Okay, so let me see if I could go back to Restreaming and show you that. It's kind of hard. But in Restreaming right here, let me see. No, right here, excuse me. You could choose the OBS virtual. You could choose the camera that you have. And that's basically what I did. I chose that one, and then my beautiful face appeared. So basically, you can, in effect, do that and use it for on your video. So it kind of just gives you a different perspective to do that. So that takes the other item. Now, the one that I try to work on today and it didn't work so well was on the 30-second introduction. And what I did with that was I experimented with using either this, which is I need to automate some of the narration for it, or a more serious one, which would be my avatar, which starts with this, and basically I could have it speak whatever sentence I want. So I'm going to try both ways in the upcoming days, and you'll be able to see the progression of that. Like I said, I don't necessarily have everything buttoned down and get everything set up, but all I could do is show you the progress that we're making. Okay. And last but not least, I'm going to see if I could show you the creation of shorts. So basically, we create a long video like the one we show. In a day or two, we go back and we ask vidIQ to kind of create shorts for us. In this particular case, which is the video that we posted a while back, what it did was it gave us 6 shorts, and you could preview it. You could preview if you like. So that's one. This is the second one. That's the second one. So I don't want to go through each one of them, but basically what it does is kind of breaks it down into sequence. And if you like what's being said, you could use that for basically your program. So what you do after that, this is what I normally do. I go and I load them into my program. They're all kind of a draft basically. So like for example, you see this was scheduled for tomorrow. So basically I want to do an edit real quick, and I do the SEO at a later time. So usually I could take the some part of the title, and that'll help me later on to change the title. And what I could do is I'm just going to schedule it for 2 days from now, so give me a chance to do do some things with it, like related videos. I'm not doing the whole thing. As you see, the check was already done because I had it posted as a draft. Put it there, then I go schedule. I know I have one on the 18th already, so I go to the 19th, and I pick the best time available. Seems like the best time is 11 o'clock. And the way you know, you get 100% on the score here. So now that video is scheduled. So see that? So now you have 2 short that I scheduled. I did one last night, one tonight. And I go back and I'll show you probably in the next video how to do the SEO for these. But if you schedule them way ahead, you always have something. There are people that say you don't have to post every day. I do like to post every day. So this kind of is my quirk. So that allows me to post the video every day, even if it's a short one. And that's the way that I do it. So that takes care of showing you how to use Video IQ. Get the shorts. Like I said, all of these are already posted on my site, but they're not published. And basically, they will be published when the time comes. So with that being said, I believe that I accomplished every single item on my agenda for tonight. The 30-second video, like I said, it's work in progress. Don't have a really good one right now. So with that being said, good night, and I'll be on the air tomorrow, most likely around the same time, 9 p.m., to give you more information as to the progress we're making. Now, remember, all you have to do at this point is engage with us for 30 seconds minimum. Place a comment, say hello, ask a question or whatever, and that will help us. That will help the algorithm give us enough hours to be able to increase the number of watch hours that we need to get to the goal, which is 4,000 hours right now. So we're just getting there slowly but surely. That being said, I bid you good night. I'm going to try to turn off the device now. And basically, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.